time for weakness. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. Just a quick one before anyone slams me for the video. That will be changed at the start of the season when all the fresh faces are done. Until then, you get to see Keelan Watson and all them people. But we are here for our Argyle transfer news and a huge first signing done by Ryan Lowe. He's ripping this shit up and starting afresh. That is what this man is doing. But before we start, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you're watching on Twitter, then please come over to YouTube. Give us a subscribe over there. It really does help. We're one away from 260. Let's get us there. And Argyle fans, if you're watching, I want to hear from you. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this, because I've done my research. I've done a shit ton of research, right? I want to hear from you. I want your thoughts on what you think of this new signing. Also, if you see behind me, I've put a few programs behind me. Thought I'd make it a bit more Argyle-like, just in case anyone accuses me of being a United fan again. But I'm joined by Doncaster fan Aaron, who knows he knows some of his shit. Maybe not Premier League stuff, because he says Milivojevic United, but he does know about the Football League. But Aaron, before we start, how are you doing?
I just came out of listening to the press conferences with our new manager, our new assistant manager, and our chief executive. We lost our identity, but starting next season, the chief executive said it. We're going to put more budget into the first team. We're going to buy better players, and we're going to recover our identity, what we had under Sean O'Driscoll. He even mentioned saying Dickov and Saunders, we lost our identity even though they had success. You know, it's so refreshing to hear your club say that, because after listening to the boring Darren Moore stuff in his interviews, it's like the same old, same old. It feels nice to hear something exciting and fresh, and you know, the fact that we're getting our club back, we're getting our identity back of what we were a decade ago, and it's, oh man, if you guys are going to be up there for top 6 next season with your squad, then we will be right there with you. Trust me.
Yeah, no, I do hear that. But yes, Argyle have made a new signing, and it is a signing that I think me and almost every single Plymouth Argyle fan has been wanting to hear for ages. It is, in fact, a new centre-back. And this centre-back is exactly what we bloody want. It's not a loanee. It's not a kid. It is a man. It's an experienced centre-back in James Wilson. Now, James Wilson last year was on Ipswich Town's books. Now, the bit about this is he won Supporters Player of the Year. So suggests to me that he's quite liked up in Ipswich. He was released by Ipswich this summer. He's 32 years old. And he's now officially part of the Argyle family. He is a Janner, and he is down at Home Park. And this is exactly the type of defender I wanted to see Ryan Lowe signing. We made mistakes last year. No one can deny that. We made a shit ton of mistakes last year at Plymouth Argyle. That is, for me, as clear as you can get. But this year, I don't think Ryan's making them same mistakes. He's learning on the job. Look, we always knew that Ryan would make mistakes. We always knew that Ryan Lowe would come up against sticky patches, would come up where he don't know what he's doing. He's learning from it. And we're not in any danger, right, under Ryan Lowe. Because, yes, under Derek Adams, we got relegated. This ain't no Derek Adams situation. This is Ryan Lowe, and this is a guy who's learning. But he's bringing an identity to Argyle that we all like, an identity of playing attacking football, bringing through the youth. We've not had this under a manager for a very long time. I think only Carl Fletcher can be the last one that we even did that. And even that was forced because we had no money and we were in administration. But we've got RJ in the chat saying hello. Damn, big name. It is a fairly big name. It's a big name in terms of Football League. He's been around a bit. We'll get into some of the clubs he's played for in his life or his career. Some top names. Lewis saying someone experience what you want and need. Exactly. We need someone experienced. We need someone who knows what they're doing. But before I get into all of the stats, and I know exactly, looking by the stats, I know exactly who he's coming to replace. Right? I can tell you that for I know exactly the player we had, the player we had last season. I know exactly who he's replacing, because you look at their stats and he's similar stats but better stats, and he's older. But before I reveal who I know who it is, because I do, that you just have to look at the stats to be able to see this. He's mates with Joe Edwards. Joe Edwards is Argyle captain who's just signed a new 2-year deal. Coincidence? I think not. He likes Ryan Lowe. He likes a style of play. That is something he said in his interview. He's already spoken to the Argyle press officer. He likes the way we play. He likes what Ryan Lowe is doing with the team and the squad. As do I. I'm loving it, by the way. He signed a 2-year contract. And Ipswich Town fans, some of them, are a little bit upset that he was released. So that makes me fairly happy. It does make me happy when if we've signed a player, the other team and the team he's left is a bit upset he's left. That puts a smile on my face, because especially for Ipswich, look, they're a good team. But Aaron, before I obviously start going into all the stats and getting some of the quotes that have been said, firstly, without really looking him up too much, what do you make of James Wilson? And yes, I need to emphasize it's the James Wilson who's a 32-year-old defender, not the 25-year-old striker who's playing for Salford.
Or released by Salford. Who's released by Salford.
Or released by Salford, one or two.
Yeah. No, look, I already know about this guy. I mean, first of all, I don't even need to reveal the name he's replacing, because even I know who's replacing before I came on this call. But with James Wilson, man, look, what Plymouth Argyle have got is an experienced defender. They've got an experienced man who will not take any bullshit at the back. It doesn't matter whether he's captain or vice captain. He will be one of the leaders in that dressing room with the younger players. I think that he's one of the people that's going to be in there 100%, giving it every game, making sure everyone's doing their job, doesn't take any bullshit, always gets them fired up for it. This guy's capped at international level as well. He's been on the international stage as well as the club stage. So this guy's been around the block. He knows what it takes to go up. He knows what it takes to get better. So what Plymouth Argyle have got is a leader to lead them into the championship in the future. And my God, have they got a player. And it's like you said, Niall, they've got a player. If Ipswich fans are crying about his release and his exit because he won the Supporters Player of the Year the previous season, you know you've got a star. You know you've got a star man. And it's just... Plymouth fans will be lapping this up. They'll be drinking Ipswich fans' tears in their cups of coffee every morning for the next year or two. It's going to be wonderful to watch from a rival's point of view. I think Ipswich, they've lost out on a great defender. They're going to need to bring in someone good to fill that void, which is going to be tough for them. But I think for Plymouth, mate, Ryan Lowe's got an identity and he's not taking any bullshit.
Yeah, no, I do hear that. Max saying, are we able to come on? I would normally, but today is just such a busy day. I've got refs view to prep for at 6 p.m. and I've got the photos. I need to upload them and get all of that sorted. So not today. I'm trying to keep this one as...
And I've got to get off. I've got to get off after the stream as well, because I've got the daily reports to film from the first part of the press conference before we get Coppinger and Younger's statements. So
for me, I'm trying to keep this one as in depth but as swift as possible, if you can even have them two in the same sentence. But normally I would just let people coming on, as everyone knows on the channel. I'm always putting the links in chats for things, but this one I just need to try and get the stuff done. But please, if you are watching, and I see the viewer count on Twitter going up and down, if you can come and join us on YouTube, we're going to be discussing this a little bit more in depth, maybe going through some of the things that you haven't seen or don't know about. But it would be absolutely mega if you could come over and join us on Twitter. Also, if you are on Twitter, go retweet the video. It does help. Let's get as many Argyle fans in here as possible.
I'll even retweet it from a rival's point of view, just to get League One League One clubs out there and get them some more respect.
That would be perfect, because we've also hit the 260 mark, which is even more buzzing. So that is even better. So let's now try and aim for 270. Let's do that. But
I'm 14 away from 600. If anyone wants to help me get there as well,
that will be mega. But let's talk some stats. Let's go a little bit more in depth into James Wilson.
I've got the article at the side of me.
I'm not reading from no article. I've done my own research.
Oh, no, I'm in the club website. Sorry, I've got the club website.
Oh, and I've read that. I briefly got the stats I needed from there. But
yeah,
let's look at in-depth stats from last season, shall we? So, defensively, he has 1.1 tackles per game, 2 interceptions, 0.8 fouls, 5.2 clearances, and 0.6 blocks. Now, compare that to Keelan Watts. Keelan Watts had 1 tackle, 0.5 interceptions, 0.8 fouls, 4 clearances, 0.5 blocks. So, defensively, he's replacing Keelan Watts, right?
Yeah.
That's the type of defender that, look, Keelan, he was a bit no-nonsense, just without the experience. That is the player he's replacing, right? Make no doubt about that. He is replacing Keelan Watts. Or possibly
I think Keelan with time will become that kind of defender, but it just wasn't the right time for him in my opinion.
It wouldn't work, but it could potentially be a Will Williamson type player as well. But this one is better than Keelan Watts. Let's make that just a fact. Now, let's look at the passing. His average passes were 44.6 per game. His pass succession rate was 77.2. And he did 4.5 long balls per game. Now, compare that to Keelan Watts again. Keelan did 52.4 passes per game, 71.8 pass per completion rate, and 3.3 long balls. So he really is replacing Keelan Watts. You just have to look at the stats. They're comparable, but this guy has much more experience. He knows what he knows his stuff. And the bit that for me really shone is interceptions. He knows where to be. Look at Keelan Watts at 0.5. Look at James's 2, just a flat 2. So he's 1.5 interceptions more than Keelan Watts per game. That will be the age. That will be him knowing where to be on the pitch.
And I think immediately as a rival, I'm looking at Plymouth's defence next season. I'm thinking, right, this is going to be 5 times as hard as it was the previous season to get past defence, because I would rather want to get past Watts than Wilson, because it's going to be
I would agree. I mean, our defence last year opened more times like prostitutes than they did defenders, so you could,
and that's Ainsley compared to ours.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's that interceptions that do it for me. It's the fact that he can read the game. He'll read the game better than Keelan Watts, and that will help Cooper. Like, the less times that we're having players going one-on-one with Mike Cooper, the better for our bloody sake. Because
100%.
Mike is a great.
The level of interception shows that he knows where he needs to be in the right place at the right time to be. It's all about peripheral vision at the end of the day and football intelligence, usually footballing brain. I think Wilson, with the more experience, has a footballing brain. Yes, Keelan Watts will grow with that footballing brain in the future, but Wilson's got it, and that's the right kind of sign for Plymouth.
Yeah, and look, we can have 1 without football brain, but have 3 without a football brain is bloody annoying. Especially
that's suicide.
Back.
That's complete
and
suicide.
Look, when I do my end of season review probably tonight, because that actually seems like the one day where I can actually proper plan and do it. Because tomorrow I've got all my individual shows. Saturday I've got the England stream that I'm doing at 8 o'clock. Then I've got Transfer Talk at 3. I'm also going to try and fit in previewing the lap final games of the season as well. So loads to do on Saturday. So tonight is probably the best night to try and do it. Because also we're moving into a new season. We're moving into silly season, and I want to get that one out there for you lot and see if you agree. But let's look at his appearances next. He's made 243 appearances in his career. He's played for teams like Bristol City, Brentford, Oldham, Walsall, Ipswich. I mean, he's not played for shit teams. He's played for some decent teams. It's sort of been
he had a loan spell at nearby Cheltenham, but it was only a loan spell. He's had loan spells as well as permanent spells.
He also made 4 appearances, and I just didn't feel the need to include them. Argyle FC, yes, and do you know what, Wolf? You're actually saying it the right way. You're calling us Argyle. Too many people call us Plymouth, and it pisses me off. We are Argyle, not Plymouth. That's insulting.
It's like Bristol Rovers being called Bristol.
Nah, we had a manager, right? We had a manager who used to keep calling us Plymouth. He was our fucking manager as well. It may have been Adams. Can't remember. One of them. It just kept pissing me off because we're Argyle, not bloody Plymouth. Mystic Wolf saying Roy Keane's Ipswich. Not quite Roy Keane's Ipswich. Roy Keane left Ipswich a fair while ago. It is Paul Cook. You are indeed correct. But Ryan Lowe has also commented on the signing of James Wilson. Lowe says he has got size and stature, heads and kicks it, defends. He's a man, a leader. All of these things we were looking for are hard to find, which is mad. Lewis saying, is there another live on this channel later on, or another different channel? It will be on this channel. So Rescue is on this channel, and the only time that you can speak to an actual referee. And tonight I'll be putting the link in at the end. Any questions you got, come and ask me. So that is all I'll say. And then the weekly, the Argyle end of season review will be on this channel as well. So that is what Ryan has said. Aaron, what do you make of what Ryan has said about James, saying that he's a man, he's a leader, he kicks, he heads it, he defends? What do you make of these comments? Clearly, it shows exactly what Ryan Lowe was looking for this summer.
It is like he has just had a checklist of what he wants for a defender, for a new defender. And it's like James just stood to the front door a second after submitting the criteria. And it's like, me, pick me. And he ticks every single box of what Ryan Lowe wants. And you could see by the way he was talking. And I watched the actual video of the interview as well. And I listened to Ryan talk, and I'm like, he knows what he wants. And it's like this guy just ticks every single box that he wants. It's like Ryan Lowe's got so much confidence in his new guy, his new signing. And yeah, if a manager's got complete confidence in the new boy, mate, or new man, should we say, mate, I think Ryan Lowe's got every bit of confidence in his team. I think Ryan Lowe's definitely, I think even for an exciting sign like James Wilson at the back, who will lead that back line with experience, this is still, ironically, the first little step towards the identity that they're going for, which is if they can get an experienced man like James Wilson's the first small step towards the right identity in the rest of the signings.
Do you know what?
I'll bring on the fucking transfer window.
I'll be really happy if we can get another one or two. If we can get one or two really good centre backs in terms of experience, and then one loanee. Right? I don't mind us using the loan market. I have no issue with that. One or two, but not in the same position. Last year we had 3 loanee centre backs. Not good enough. We cannot be reliant on 3 loanee centre backs. That is going to go. I mean, and then a Will Aimson, who we could all see just simply wasn't good enough for Argyle. But
I mean, I wasn't.
said,
I'm not usually a fan of the loan market, and my maximum's 4 or 5 in different positions.
Yeah, and that's what Chris Errington alluded to. And look, when we do the end of season review, I will be discussing that and talking about that and why. Because at the end of the day, that is the way I see it. Ipswich fans, though, they've come out and commented a little bit as well. Some of the fans saying he's solid, he's reliable, no frills, decent League One centre back, no nonsense centre back. The one bit that did concern me, though, injury prone. Now, we have had injury prone players before, but Ryan does seem to have a good record at not having injured players often. We're normally quite good with that. We have very good sort of medical team, very good fitness coach. So I'm not overly concerned about this. But again, that does show that we do need to continue. And I will say this again, we need to continue on this trend. We need at least another 2 of these. We need another 2 experienced good centre backs at the back. For me, that is what we need to do.
I think this is one of those biggest tests. Then now, if you can deal with no injured players, and he's got an injury prone, a player that's known to be injury prone, this is biggest test now to see if you can put that to the test.
Yeah, no, I do hear you. I do hear you. Will saying, who do you think will win between Vancouver Whitecaps versus Argyle? I say Argyle. I'll always back my boys.
Argyle.
Argyle easy. I don't think it'd be easy, but yeah, I'd back us.
I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Argyle. 2-1 win.
I'm defo watching League One next season. I would. League One is very entertaining. Wolf is from Canada as well, so we're getting the name of Argyle and League One out. We're being global.
It's more competitive than the Premier League. It's more competitive than the Premier League.
Yeah, of course. But if you are watching on Twitter, if you could join us to come over to YouTube, give us a follow, give us a subscribe. It does really help us out. We're aiming to try and hit 1,000. And to be honest, if you want to see what we're doing during the summer, this is the place to be. Check out this place, because simply there's no one that is going to do. There's no other channel that is going as in depth into the Euros as we are. We are doing watch-alongs for all of the home nations. We've got the weekly Euro review show. We've got an England show every Friday. Trust me, we're going to have a Euros refs watch as well. Make sure that we don't have any dodgy decisions. And we're obviously each day we will still continue to have transfer talk at 3 p.m. Mr. Potter saying League One looks exciting. I've got to follow it more. I would.
Yes.
Wolf saying, I will let Canadians know about Argyle. That would be amazing. We've got quite a big audience in America, though. Our owner is actually American, so we've got the Americans, but we need to slide it to the Canadians.
That's good though, to be fair, because if Plymouth are wanting to aim for like the higher end of football, like Championship, and maybe even get to the top flight, then it's good to have an international audience and build that fan base up, because international fan bases help spread awareness in football club, which is why 100%. I think we've got an Argentina page as well.
Yeah, great to see the fall of Sunderland, but looks like they had a good season this year. Yeah, not in the playoffs though, did they? One so great in the playoffs.
Job manager.
Lewis saying, just had some great news saying that Sol Bamba is cancer free. That is amazing. We love to hear that and see that, and wish him all the best in his recovery, because it's not just about being cancer free, it's about the recovery after. Is Wales in the Euros? I'm supporting them. Got to support my ancestors' homeland. Wales are in the Euros. God knows when Gareth Bale is not Gareth Bale. God knows when Wales are releasing their squad. England's is on Tuesday. I'll be live at 12:30 with build up to it and then reaction. And I need to go sort out a panel for that one. It's going to be good. I'm going to be very good. But
I'm not going live on that day, so I might pop in on Tuesday.
Sorted. We've got Aaron on Tuesday then. To you lot, that did sound like him accepting it. So he can't back out now. Else Velvish Schwan will be coming round to his house. But before we do wrap up, because as I say, I've got rest for you to prep for. Last thoughts on James Wilson. It's a great signing to start with. It's very exciting. The fact that he's experienced all of this does really help. But what do you think we need to do next? How do we improve? What do we do next to take us to that next level?
Well, I think the centre-back is the big position for me for Plymouth. So now that you've got this experienced head who knows the Football League in James Wilson, build that centre-back pairing around Wilson and around the captain and build that kind of partnership. So bring in one or two more centre-backs, one more permanent centre-back, and maybe an extra like loanee or two as backup. But I wouldn't go for any wild loanees. I'd go for a quality loanee, someone that's going to step it up each game. But yeah, I think an extra couple of centre-backs, one or two loanees and a couple of permanents as well. But goalkeeper position, maybe one more goalkeeper on loan just to give Cooper some competition and keep him on his toes. You don't need another striker. You've got enough strikers already, in my opinion. Midfielders, maybe one more centre midfielder or two wouldn't hurt, whether it's a loanee and a permanent or two loanees just to give you a bit of edge. Maybe Luke McCormick's one of them. Maybe Luke McCormick could be one of them. We'll see about that. But just a couple of little things here and there. Maybe a couple of wing backs on either side if you're going to play with the three at the back again next season, which is probably more likely. So I think a couple of wing backs either side, maybe one or two midfielders, one extra goalkeeper, and a couple of centre backs. But then you're all sorted.
No, I do hear that. But look, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. A big thanks to everyone that's tuned in on YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. If you have watched on Twitter or Twitch, if you could just give us a subscribe on YouTube. If you have a YouTube account, that would be amazing. As I said, we're aiming for that 1,000 mark. We're aiming for 1,000. We want to hit monetization because we want to bring you the best content we can. The best content we can. We want to bring it here to you on Let's Talk Premier League. We've got lots of brands. We've got Let's Talk Premier League, Let's Talk Argyle, Let's Talk F1, Let's Talk Euros, Let's Talk transfers, Let's Talk. God knows we've got it all. We do have it all. So please do check us out on all of them. We'll be live, as I say, at 6 p.m. with the ref's view. The Argyle end of season review probably most likely is going to be at around about 8 o'clock. Just briefly having a look at what we did, a look at the start of the season compared to the end of the season, what we've learned, what we need to improve going into this season. And I've done player ratings for every single player. And I've done player a rating for Ryan Lowe and for Plymouth Argyle in general on how I think we've done this season. But as I say, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. That is on YouTube. If you're watching on any of the others in Twitter or Twitch, come over to YouTube. It does really help us out. And check out our other videos that we've done. We've just done Transfer Talk at 3 p.m. We've got match reactions. We've got all sorts on this channel. So there's no other place. And there's no other place where the link can go into a chat and you can come on. Like, trust me, if the link goes in, you have a very good chance of getting in because it's not just the same people coming in every single day. I'll accept anyone as long as you're not rude. That's the only rule. Just don't be rude. But Mr. Potter saying, I may support our goal next season. That would be amazing. That would be absolutely lush. And cheers, fellas. Not a problem. But Aaron, where can they find you, bro?
So of course you can find me on Twitter, Aaron_Challoner. Probably gonna be active on there in the next few days with me going out tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. Also from a football DRSC, Your Dog Strovers fan channel. Video coming up today. I'm going to record it straight after the stream. It's Charles not my camcorder at the minute, so I'm going to record the video, get it up this evening. It's going to be the reaction to the statements from Richie Wellings, Gavin Baldwin, the chief executive, and the assistant manager Noel Hunt. Very, very exciting statements indeed from a number of different things, Niall, including transfer targets, what we feel went wrong this season, Even the chief executive has admitted that we've lost our identity. So more thoughts on that in that video. And of course, we've got some big stuff coming up later on in the next few weeks. Got our previews for the playoff finals. I'm going to review all the semi-final legs as well after they're all done this weekend as well. Morecambe Tranmere lineups came out while we were on live as well, so that should be interesting. But yeah, should be interesting. So yeah, big stuff coming up, guys, and yeah, on the road to 600 subs. We're only 14 away. I think. I'm not too sure. No, we're 31 away from 600, so not too many.
So make sure you check out Aaron. As I said, make sure you check out our channel as well. Go give it a subscribe, and I can't emphasize that enough. We put in loads of work for all of these shows, working day and night to bring you the best content we can on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. So it will just help. We're growing, and we aim to be the next best thing very, very soon. And we've got some great panelists, great panelists, that is for sure. What have we got here? Is League 2 worth watching? Meh, a
sometimes,
bit. Yeah. You lads heard of Plymouth's under-18 player? No. That is a good try. That is a good try. That is a very good try. But also, yeah, I've never heard of that one because we don't have one like that. But if you are new, chuck us a subscribe. It would help us out. And maybe you're a Gill. Maybe you're a Gillingham fan. Maybe that is what you are. But chuck us a subscribe as you tried to get me to say that one. And unlucky to you.
I mean, there's a guy called Ben Reeves, but there's not that name.
No, Ben Reeves was released.
Exactly. So there's no real bands there anymore.
Check our socials out at Twitter, Let's Talk EPL, Instagram, Let's Talk EPL_, and on TikTok at Let's Talk Premier League. But that is it for today's show. And big thanks to everyone watching. We're back in 29 minutes with Ref's View.
Jesus.
It's going to be a long show. That's all I know. And the link will be in the chat. Sort of after I've done the pictures and looked at all the individual decisions, I'll put the link in the chat for you to come on one at a time, ask me a question, then it will be on to the next one, keeping it swift and quick, because if I am to try and squeeze in the year end of season review show for Argyle, I'm going to need to keep things brief, but also in depth. But a big thanks to everyone watching. We'll be back at 6 p.m. But until then, Argyle have signed James Wilson. It's a great signing for the boys. Have a good day.